Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to talk about bulk payments. How do I process bulk payments? For today's example, let's say we received 10 checks from different residents and all of them are for monthly rent. First step is to sign into OneSite. Once in OneSite, you'll want to go to the Payments tab. In the Payments tab, you'll be able to see the following. The next step is to click on New. Remember, if the New button is grayed out, just click on Refresh, and the New button will then be available. When you click on New, a new pop-up window will show up that you might be familiar with. At this point, you'll want to look at your checks. Remember, for bulk payments, you'll never want to do more than 30 checks at one time. So you'll take your checks of 30 or less, so for today's example of 10, and you'll want to review the checks. Before scanning the payments, use the calculator and add the totals for the deposits, and print the calculator tape. Do this before anything else, just to make sure everything's up to par and going to total up correctly. You can then begin scanning your checks. So for today's example, let's go to the manual. The manual is attached to this video, so if you have questions or want to look at the details of the steps at a future date, please look at page 7, bulk entries. You'll want to verify the date, the number of payments, so for today's example would be 10, and the total amount of all the payments. Then you'll start scanning, and then you'll be able to review the information. You'll want to enter the unit number for each line item for each resident. Want to verify the amount of each check and the transaction type. Once this is all complete, make sure you make any corrections, review everything, and click Validate Batch. If everything is entered correctly, the Finish button will show up. However, in some cases, it's not perfect, and the batch being processed may contain an error. You'll be able to see the batches here, and any of the status symbols here. The green checks are good, it means it's completed. The yellow means it's resolved. This sign here, with the exclamation mark, means it's in progress. And red means it requires additional attention. In order to see anything that requires attention, just click on the red circle. It will then pop up a window, and you'll be able to see everything in detail and see what was successful and what failed. You'll then be able to click on Resolve, and the system will begin fixing itself. As mentioned in the details below, it'll be dependent on what the issue was. So, let's go back to OneSite just to see here. As we can see, here's a red, it requires attention. If we're to click on it, the batch will open up, and we'll be able to see what was successful and what failed. We'll be able to click on Resolve and see any additional issues that need to be handled. If you have any additional questions, please contact your accountant that you're working with or your manager. Additionally, the training department is always available to assist as well. In the next section, we will talk about moving monies between units or between ledgers.